friends, today we're going to do a fun one. I made faux candles out of plaster of Paris, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to decoupage them with the tissue paper. We're going to do 1 fall one and 3 Halloween ones. This one doesn't have a fake wick, but that's okay. It'll be all right. Now, you may be asking me to do the plaster of Paris part in front of you, but I am not good enough at it to tell anybody how to do anything. I will show you the molds that I used. So I really like this one. This is made a little fake. It didn't have a place to put the wick. I don't know how you'd put a real wick in it, but okay. Right? Usually there's a hole for where the wick would go. But I think this is adorable. Look how cute that is. And this is the one I really wanted to do. This is, so what happens is this mold is 2 pieces. You put the wick in here. There's a little channel to put it in. And then the 2 parts of this go together. I got this one at Michael's. And it was like 20 bucks. And it is super heavy, very good. It's silicone. I'm really, I couldn't be more pleased with this. And these are what we made. So when you do plaster of Paris candles, you'd use 2, it was like $7 for a big bucket of it. But you use twice as much plaster of Paris as you do water. That's the full extent of what I'm going to give you as my expertise in that, because I feel like I am not someone you should listen to about how to do plaster of Paris. But decorating plaster of Paris, I feel super confident about. Well, that's a lie too, because I've never decorated it, but I think we're going to do great. And then at the end, I'll show you the faux candles in the candle holders on my mantle. I'm starting to have a lot of faux candles, and they're looking really cute. There we go. We got that one done. Let's see if it was easier to... Oh, I've broken them. I've broken 2 of them, and I glued them back together with Dina Wakley's mixed media glue. I don't know if there's a special kind of glue that would be better. I just used what I had on hand, but that seemed to work relatively well. I'm just trying to get the bottoms flat enough that they'll sit in my candle holders. That one is not flat yet. There we go. That made a big difference. Whatever I just did made a big difference. Okay, I'm going to just sand my candles, and I... didn't know I was going to be saying that. I'm going to sand my candles and I will be back. Okay, this one, I think I didn't have enough plaster of Paris to really fill well. So the bottom was very fragile till we got to where it was solid. And I'd rather have a shorter, stabler candle. Oh, there we go. Perfect. A shorter, stabler candle than a longer, unstable candle. Now this one is going to be nice and tall. So I think we have 3 tall ones, which is perfect. I have a candelabra that has room for 3. That's going to be the Halloween one. And then I have one that is that real cute fall one I did. I haven't done the black one yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. I feel like this edge is just it's pretty easy to sand. Okay, yay. Okay, this one is definitely a little tippy this way, so we're going to go this way. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm covered in powder now. Okay. So we are going to, I'm not going to seal these. I don't know, crap. I don't know what you would seal them with. In my craft room. Maybe like a real DAP sealer, paint sealer, or something like that. I'm just going to use acrylic paint. If you've been around a minute, you may have noticed that acrylic paint is, quite frankly, my go-to answer for almost everything. So we're gonna just see how this goes. And it was funny when you do them. I don't know if this happens everywhere. I live in a really weird climate. I live in Florida, and so we have like 90% humidity, and it's hard to tell if that's what would happen everywhere. But when I took them out of the molds, they were like cold. Desi touched them and they were cold and really cold for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. So I'm sure that's the curing time before they're stable. So if you're thinking about doing this project, maybe give yourself, you know, like do the candles, the faux candles one weekend, because you're going to need to, is this dry already? That's almost dry already. This is absorbing every bit of liquid in this paint and just sucking it up. But so this is why I would use acrylic paint. I wouldn't use watercolor paint. I don't think anybody would. I don't think. But let's say why we would use acrylic paint and not watercolor paint, just in case. Watercolor paint is all water, right? It's in the name. And it's going to soak into this plaster of Paris immediately. And first off, I don't think the color would be bold enough to stand up to this. And it wouldn't give you any kind of seal on the plaster of Paris. Now think about it. Of course you can, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Of course you can paint plaster of Paris, because think about all those ceiling medallions and stuff that people make. Those are plaster of Paris. And they're able to paint them. So of course we can paint this with acrylic paint. I don't know if I would paint this with oil paint either, but don't take me at that, because I don't use oil paint, so I'm not a real good source for news and information. But I think acrylic paint did a dang fine job. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. This one I'm just going to keep purple. I don't have a grand plan for this one. If I got all excited about it, I'd stripe it, but that's not really the look I'm going with that one. My faux candle project this year has really kind of made me really happy. Like, I have teenagers crawling all over my house, and some of them like one better and some of them like the other better. And then my little granddaughters are looking at the candles and liking them and seeing the old candle holders we had. Emmy on the fall one, my bigger granddaughter who's 4, she's seen the fall one and she said, oh, cranberry. Like, it was really different than I had shown her the before version of it, and she thought it was just so pretty now that it's orange. It's just really nice. And my husband couldn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, stop making me look at faux candles. There. I feel like that's a fair request. All right, for a change, I think I will use the glass as a palette rather than using my project as a palette. Okay, there's one. Oops. Bad painter. And I just need this to be mostly purple because I'm gonna put decoupage on it. I'm gonna put the Halloween tissue. I'm gonna put 2 Halloween tissue papers and 1 fall tissue paper on this. And I also think if you're gonna make these, as they sit, they're pretty fragile. If they tip over, they in my 4 candle experience tend to break. It's fine, I just glued them back together. But if you were just looking to make plain taper candles, I think you know, if you live in a house where nothing falls over, then I think you'd be okay. But living in a house that, you know, regularly feels like an earthquake hit on the regular, I think they would just shatter in a million pieces if I don't have them covered with something. This one has a big channel in it. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. On one of the batches of the tapers, I panicked because I put in, oh look, you can see where the glue is. I was like, why is it so light on there? It's where the glue is. So the glue has sealed, see in that crack, the glue has sealed the plaster of Paris. So obviously plaster of Paris is super porous, but it seals up pretty good too. Anyways, so I didn't have my reading glasses with me, and I read the directions. Always bring your reading glasses, because I read the directions and I saw it said 2 to 1. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's 2 water to 1 plaster of Paris. It is not. And so then that's why we have the little baby plaster of Paris candle, because I immediately had to make, instead of 1 cup of, winding up with 1 cup of plaster of Paris, I wound up with 3 cups of plaster of Paris, or 2 cups, I guess. And I just poured the rest of it into the little baby candle, and everything turned out all right. But man, I love being a paper crafter. It's flat. There's hardly ever any emergencies. There's no assemblage. This feels like one of those projects I'll do once, and then next year I'll be like, I'm just buying some taper candles. I don't know. I just hate wasting them. It's been years since I've had taper candles. Can you remind me? They break when they fall over too, don't they? I mean, like real taper candles. Don't they break if they fall over too? I have 3 dogs, 1 cat, 2 grandchildren, 3 kids, not counting their assorted others. My husband does not bother my decorating. He is the least offensive one because he doesn't care. I don't know if you can tell. I'm sure the video got very gray, but it is very grumbly out there. I am going to pause for a minute and let this dry a little bit, because just as I started painting it, I thought, oh shoot, we're supposed to have 1 orange one. So we're gonna have, acrylic paint is opaque. I might have to paint it over twice to get it to be orange, but is that orange? That's red. Okay, there is 1 coat of orange over purple. I think for sure I want to do a 2nd coat just to make it a prettier color, because it's functionally what's happening is the purple is darker than the orange. So the light coming through is making half of it brown, because we have all 3 of the primary colors. So let's give that a minute. Stop it. Let's give that a minute. And while we're waiting on our 2nd coat of orange, let's look at our papers. So we have this. I think that's stunning. Let's go through our purples. That's okay. Ooh, look at that. That's all black. That to me is very beautiful. Blue. I'm going to pull out the ones I think are very beautiful. That one's not bad. That's kind of cute. I think this one could be pretty on, because think about it. You're only going to see like that much of it. This one could be pretty on. This one's super dark. I don't mind it. Ooh, this one's more of a light purple. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. That one's very yellow. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's Halloween, not fall. Oh, no. Do we have fall? Those definitely look Halloween. Are we gonna be stuck with, these two look more fall-y to me. This looks fall. A little bit of black, but not too much. Now that I think about it, that one's kind of screaming Halloween. Okay, we have plenty. We have 3. They're gonna go around plenty. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I love this one. This one is Halloween-y. Oh, that's pretty. It could be a little Halloween-y, but not as much as some of them. Some of them are just screaming Halloween, but they're Halloween-y. I hear ya. I made those fall ones. We'll use the fall ones. This is the purple one where we did the back to see if it would shine through. Not that cute. Stripes. Very cute. Put this on my pile of don't mind. Very Halloween-y. Love it. I love Halloween. That's super pretty for orange Halloween. If I was going to do orange Halloween, it would be that one. But it's a fall candle holder. So we have a ton of these in case we need to come back. But let's get started and pick maybe our least favorite. Sure? Question mark. This is my least favorite. That's too, oh, that could be okay. We could put like a little band of that around. Ooh, that could be fun. Okay, so we need high gloss Mod Podge. So let's do, how far does it go around? Beep, beep, beep. Beep. 2. So now we need to, let's get this wet because I'm going to need to have this be wet. I think the acrylic paint will keep this from soaking up immediately, but I truly feel like we have a very tiny window . Well, the wet paper definitely helped it to go around easier. That's on. Now I need a little piece. Well, we could do that whole candle. It looks like one sheet. Because we'll need a lot less. It's a lot skinnier at the top than it is at the bottom. Okay, let's get this guy a squirt. I'm using gloss medium fairly liberally, not soaky soak, but I want to make sure I get it all over everything. Okay. I don't want that straight line, so I'm going to put that up at the top. I'm fine with it at the top, but I don't want it to go across my candle. And there we go. All right, look at that. Okay, now we have to do the whole thing. See how this is white? I think if we get a bunch of gloss medium over it, we can make it less white. Just let it soak right in. Ooh, so pretty. I can't wait to see them. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow because we're gonna have to wait for the medium to dry. Okay, I feel like we can do a real quick coat of orange so when we get to fall, we're ready to go. They're back to feeling super cold. I mean, you're not gonna see much of this, but look how gloopy brown that is. That's not cute. Not for fall. I like dirty orange anyways. So this was not a burst into tears moment for me. I'm having a hard time because I'm very shaky today around plaster of Paris stuff. It's fine. Okay. Next. Ooh, this one. I love this one. Okay. So we are going to go. You can always tell when you're going down the way that the paper was made. So if you want to have a kind of a cleaner tear of your tissue paper, just use a little bit of water. And then it won't be so like a line like if you're using a scissors, but it makes it, oops, this one. Okay, so we need to go around and around until we get to, ooh, we'll do it this way. Around and around until we get to right here. And that's just a little bit harder to tear because I'm tearing through layers of embossing and acrylic paint, which is what I made this out of. I have a video about how to make these backgrounds if you want to do it. This bottom layer is what will make it stick to the candle. And I need to make sure, I'm not sure I got the gloss medium high enough on this one. And for this, because the paper's wet, the candle's wet, everything's wet, I feel like now we're just starting to overlap. But I feel like we have lots of playtime on this one as opposed to almost everything I do where you have a couple seconds. If you have texture problems with sticky stuff touching you, on this one, for sure, wear some gloves. Because there's a lot of sticky stuff touching me right this second. And that is going to be just perfect. Wow, that is exactly the right size. That's crazy pants. Oh, we can make it longer. Duh. Do not be skimpy with the gloss medium. This is this is your glue, right? And it's what's gonna make your tissue paper translucent. So you want to be really liberal with it. We must have crossed the Rubicon to where, all right. Now our last, I am literally covered in. So this is our last coat over the top. I was wondering if I really had to do the paint underneath. And I think yes. I think whether you think your whole thing will cover it or not, I would for sure do the layer with the paint first off so that it can seal the plaster of Paris, right? Okay, so now let's see, I have one left. It's gonna have to be this one because this one has a little bit of yellow on it, and the last thing I want is a little bit of yellow. So if it sounds like a tornado came in, never fear. It's just my son taking a shower on the other side of the wall. My baby got a job. He's working as a pool boy, pool man, for Pinch a Penny. And he really likes it. So let's go around. Boop, boop, boop. So we need to, this has been easier to do than I thought it would. I kind of was worried that it would be sort of a pain to wrap them around the faux tapers, but it has been relatively easy. That having been said, I have already made faux toilet paper holders, candles, faux LED candles. At this point in my life, at least for this wee minute, I feel like I am probably the world's most accomplished faux candle wrapper in the world. Mostly because I made this up, and I don't know if there are any other faux candle wrappers in the world. I'm gonna need some more. Okay, there's that. This one, I don't know if it's long enough. We might have to do, well, I don't like the idea of changing. So let's see what we can do with this. So that should go around, right? We'll see how it looks. And then we can cheat it a little bit if we need to. We're gonna go to the top because that's where the line is. And this is not tissue paper. This is that paper that goes on doctors' offices, medical tables. I have way too much. I feel like I'm going to be able to fix this right as we speak. I'm not sure that super cheap by the ream tissue paper. So funny, you guys don't know. When I'm editing my videos, I have huge pauses in the middle. I was gonna say, I don't think that the super cheap tissue paper would hold up to this process, but when I'm editing, I'll be like, 4-hour pause between what I say first and what I say second, because I can't do this and talk at the same time. Me. Okay, that one turned out beautiful. Already fixed the little blip where it was going to be a little too short, and so now we're on to our last one that is going to be the gold one, or the fall one. That's very pretty paper. I feel like I did a good job on that one. I think I just dragged it through it, if we're honest. So we need to, let's start at the bottom. And we need to about here. Ooh, I feel like that side's straighter, so let's do it this way. And don't forget the bottoms of these. I guess if I were to cheat going forward, I would cheat the bottoms rather than the tops, because the bottoms of all of these are going to be down in a candle holder, right? So had I thought that through, we don't necessarily even have to go all the way to the bottom. I think it's nice if we do. This one's a shorty. I was like, why do I have so much left? It's because it's a shorty. All right, here we go. Let's straighten out some of these rings. Do the top. How long do we need? I kind of like, well, I guess I like this side. My hands are covered in glue. Glue, glue, glue. But I am chuffed at how cute this whole entire project came out. Yes, that was my baby wandering around. He has headphones. I have headphones. We all have headphones. And yet we wander around blasting our... I can't even. This turned out even better than I ever hoped. Because this is the one I wanted to do, right? At the beginning of this whole project, I was like, I want to make faux taper candles. And then I was like, okay, let's try making faux toilet paper candles first. Let's not get ahead of yourself. And so now, at the end of the day, I have my faux taper candles. I have a little faux, haven't decided yet what to do with her. This is the project, this one right here that we're gonna post. And Oh my gosh. I will tomorrow go and film it for you and show you how cute they turned out. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at how great they turned out. Okay, let me step back. So now you can see the, I am a dyed-in-the-wool Halloween decorator, but dang, that fall candle turned out great. With the painted base and then the fancy fall candle taper candle. Oh my gosh, and then these guys turned out amazing. You're gonna love this. I was doubting it yesterday, but now that I see them, I think that I would do it all again. Hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.